Hi, it's Dorleen. Welcome to my creative life with all sorts of crafty fun. I am creating a layout. This is a month in review. So the top half is going to be June and the bottom are pictures taken in July. So I decided to do it this way because I thought it'd be kind of fun to see if I can split it. Right now I'm just kind of going through some pads. I wanted to use my 6x6 pads. I don't know. Sometimes I have something in my mind. The other one, I liked it, but it was almost too girly. But I really like this family fun set. And this is by Elle's Studio, and I'll try to remember to put a link down in the information box. But I really like this one because it had a lot of really bright colors. There were some florals and some stripes and some polka dots and just a little bit of everything. So I thought it would work. There is a lot of yellows in my photos, but other than that, nothing really coordinates because they're all these different occasions, which is why I do a month in review. And my month in review are photos that are kind of one-offs. Even though we went and did something, it wasn't one that I took multiple photos. So there's just one photo here, one photo there, and it just works out perfect. So I'm just kind of going through the pad, seeing which ones I really liked. I wasn't sure about the floral, but I ended up using that anyways, which is kind of weird, but whatever, because I do have some girly pictures, if you want to call it that. I have my granddaughters with some really longtime friends of ours, their granddaughters, and so I thought that was a really fun picture to take. Our dog Gracie, it's her 12th birthday, and of course at this time we didn't realize it was also her last birthday, which makes me sad, and I guess that's the good and bad thing about going through your scrapbooks, or not even going through them, but scrapbooking your photos, your older photos, is because you are reliving those memories, good or bad. But going forward, we'll talk about the good. So we have 3 birthdays, some just backyard fun, and then of course the Warriors won their NBA champions, and we always take like a shot whenever our teams win. So right now I'm just going through the embellishments. So I had won this set, I'm talking years ago, at a crop, and I can't even remember where, when, what, all the details, but I remember that it had the pad and all these really fun embellishments, and also the what do you call those, like the journaling cards, things like that. So this is very photo heavy layout, and I know that right off. So I didn't want to cover the entire thing with pattern paper, but what I did is I cut, so these are 6x6 like I mentioned, so I cut one of them in half, which makes it 3x6, and then I just kind of shoved them under, or placed them under the photos. So I still have some of that gray cardstock showing, because I think it looks fun to have all the different colors because they do coordinate. So it adds some, some interest to the photos, but also it's not covering the entire layout, if that makes any sense. So I'm looking at this and I'm just really trying to arrange these photos. Again, I really wanted the June photos up on the top and the July ones over on the bottom. But as you can see, I have 4 photos for June and only 3 for July. But I also want to put somewhere in here where I could put some kind of journaling or something, so years later we can remember this is Gracie's birthday, and the other birthday parties, because you know how that is. You look at pictures years later and think, who are those people? So I do need some spaces for that. Now, the one thing I like about the embellishments is they do have some labels, and also those cards can kind of part, and they give you spaces to put more information as well. Now, there's not a whole lot of journaling because, again, this isn't just one occasion, but I do feel the need to write something. So I'm looking at this again, and you saw me on that NBA champions photo. I downloaded that from, the computer, and it had a picture or kind of a poster look of the entire team. And I realized, I guess it is important, but I'm never going to meet any of them people, or at least I don't think so. So what was really important to this story was the fact that we were toasting or taking a shot because of the champions. So that's why I just kind of placed our photo of our hands on top of the photo of the players, and later I'll cut it down because I still wasn't 100% sure if I didn't want them, but just because of the number of photos already, I really do end up doing that. And you're going to see me make a big change in a minute because, again, I'm just kind of moving it here, moving it there. You know what I'm talking about, scrapbookers? That for some reason that one tiny little centimeter move to the right makes a huge difference. But it really does. It really does. I didn't want to overlap pictures because I wasn't going to overlap the whole thing. So what I decided to do is I'm making myself an even smaller canvas. I used a white piece of cardstock and I cut 1 inch on 2 sides. So this makes this cardstock a total of 11 by 11. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it on top of those 6 by 6 and 3 by 6 pieces of paper. And that's going to be like a border around it. But I don't know why, but this one move just makes everything better. So I absolutely love this. Now, of course, I have to fit those photos within an 11 by 11 inch square versus a 12 by 12. And you see what I'm doing there? I had that had that paper that was a scrap from a previous project, and I'm going to use that for the underground because I don't need a full 6 by 6. I just need the 2 edges, right? The left and the bottom center, I guess, to be showing. And so you'll see me later on that I'm actually going to cut a big chunk of the floral one off, and then the piece of the blue paper that's over on that top left, I'm going to use a portion of that to place in that bottom middle blue one, but you'll see that. And that's just a way to save paper because nobody's going to see that. And in my mind, it's kind of like, you know how when I gut paper, and you've probably gutted paper too, where you would gut the cardstock. In this case, let's say I didn't have that pattern paper and I just had that gray. I would cut or gut the gray, so then you have that gray left over. In a sense, it's kind of that same idea because I am kind of gutting, if you want to call it that, those pattern papers, because the only thing I need are the borders. And like I said, it'll make sense in just a minute, but even though I have plenty of this paper and I've had it for a while, I still don't want to waste it. So that was my thinking, is if we can save some paper, especially when it's really pretty paper, why not? And if I never use it again, we'll find a way. I am definitely one of those people that bring paper and products to with me when I go to crops, because I love the whole trash to treasure bin, because not only have I retrieved some items that I needed from, or I say I needed from these bins, but I also like to just bless others with it. So even if I don't use it, who knows, years later you may see these scraps in a trash to treasure bin. So here's what I'm talking about. So that little piece was left over what I gutted, and I knew that it was 3 inches wide, so it didn't necessarily need to be 6 inches high. So that's why I just put that there. So my ATG pink big gun pooped out, or at least ran out of adhesive. So then I just was using my smaller Tombow tape runner, which is fine. It's always good to have a variety of adhesive for that one reason, if nothing else. Always seems to be when I'm filming that I've run out of tape. But so now I'm just putting in, so you noticed me, I was kind of fiddling with them earlier, all those little pieces that had little quotes, or little, like that one, smile, things like that. And I decided to just draw some lines here on that bottom left-hand corner, because I'm going to put a little bit of journaling, and basically that it's, we had 3 birthdays, and a championship, and then just some backyard fun. So super simple. I'm going to be putting and the other label looking things, it has date. Instead of putting an actual date, I'm putting like the month of June, and then the other one July. So you can tell this is a month in review. Again, nothing very specific as far as occasions, but photos we took, and because it's always good to remember all these little good times that we have throughout the month. And I hope you agree. So I hope that you like this video, and if you do, please give me a thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. I'm really close to 1,000 people. I need to get there. And I don't know why. I'm just excited to do that. My granddaughter keeps track with me, and I know she would be excited too. But I do post at least 2 videos a week. One is scrapbooking, and the other is whatever it is I'm creating. And I've been saying welcome to my creative life because I did realize that I have creative things just all over my life. As far as sometimes it's in the kitchen, sometimes it's in the backyard, most of the time it's in the craft room. But if you're like me and you're a crafter and you just love all things crafty, you'd appreciate some of the other projects that I'm making. And if not, that's okay too. I have playlists, so if you're looking for something specific, you can look at my playlist and only look at those videos. I'm fine either way. I just love making these videos. I think it's really fun. And it also reminds me because I'll say, hey, how did I do that? And then I go back and I find the video and kind of reteach my own self. So yeah, it's a little crazy, but that's me. So I just do a little bit of journaling. Like I said, just nothing very specific, just kind of this is what's happened that month. And I also created another layout that's going to be on the opposite side of this, where again, June on the top, July on the bottom, and there are photos of my son. He had a lot of doctor or hospital visits, and so I put it all on one page. I'm not going to do a process video for that because I think it'll be hard to get through. It was hard doing it, just putting the photos down and looking at them. But if you know, you know. But anyhow, I hope you do like this, and I'll have all the links below to my blog, my Instagram, and also to the Elle studio down in the information box. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it so much. Bye.